this is Kristi Villani from My Quilting Loft. How are you? Hey, we are coming in on the home stretch of our mystery quilt for our sew along, and this block is really cute. This one is called Tulip Lady Fingers, and it is number 99 in our quick and easy block tool book, and so it is a lot of fun. It's on page 111 and it's number 99. Tulip Lady Fingers. So cute. Now this block right here, it's got some half square triangles and some squares. Nothing crazy. So, you know, we've learned, we have already learned how to make half square triangles a couple different ways. Well, now today's nothing different. We're going to learn a new way to make half square triangles. There's lots of ways to make half square triangles, right? So we're going to learn another new way. And I kind of like this way. It's kind of fun. So pretty easy, and it gets the job done. You get a bunch of them done all at once. We're gonna do strip. We're gonna sew strips together and cut half square triangles from strips. So what do you think of that? Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to cut one 3.5 inch square for the middle. You're going to want to cut 4 3.5 inch squares of another color, and you're going to want to cut 4 itty bitty little 2 inch squares. And where are my other ones? Oh, right here. You're going to want to cut 4 2 inch squares of another color. So now it's important, these two colors, the colors that you're going to make your little 2 inch squares out of, are also the colors you're going to want to make 2 inch strips of, and 2 inch strips that you're going to put front to back, and you're going to sew down one side and you're going to sew down the other side. So right sides together, I have a seam here and I have a seam here. Okay, so that is going to be the basis of our half square triangles. So let's jump right into those, okay? So you're going to want to take a ruler, and you're going to want to find a 2 inch mark on one corner and a 2 inch mark on the other corner. Lay those right on the seam here, on the bottom seam. Now, if your 1/4 inch seam is too big, you might run into the point of your ruler encroaching over that seam. And if that's the case, you want to tear those seams out and start over and have a narrower 1/4 inch seam. Don't ask me how I know that. Sometimes we learn the hard way, right? Okay, so I'm going to say one more time. Okay, you're going to want your 2 inch mark of your ruler on either side. There's a little 2 here. And I think you can see that okay. There's a 2 here and a 2 here. You're going to line those both up exactly on the seam, not on the edge. Line them up on the seam and cut that and cut that. And look at that. A half square triangle. And even better, now you just flip that around and keep going. Just put that 2 here on the seam and the 2 here on that seam. And you can line that up right here with that one. And for some reason, I keep finding that I have to kind of cut down both sides. Every once in a while I don't have to. So you're going to want to cut 8 of those. Whoops. So just keep flipping it around. Line your 2 up on the seam. Give it trim. Give it trim. And keep going until you have 8 of these. You know, when you're filming on a hot day and your hubby brings you a nice latte, you let him in. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, so back to where was I? Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 8. half square triangles. Okay. And then you guessed it, we're gonna press them open. Set the seam, give a little press, and then you're just gonna do that with all of these. And my iron wasn't very hot. And then all you need to do is just trim off that little dog ear very carefully, and you should have a 2-inch half square triangle. Now you're going to want to double check it on, measure it on your ruler or on a mat or something. Make sure you got a 2-inch half square triangle. And I am going to cheat a little bit because I have some of these already done up. So we're going to lay those out. My 3.5-inch squares, like so. And then I have my little 2-inch squares like that. Then I'm gonna take my little half square triangles and make sure that my color that I'm using for my inner 2-inch square matches the color right here, so that it makes that little tulip shape. Just like that. And then my other little 2-inch square goes right there, and you'll see it all come together quite nicely. This is a pretty simple block, and it's really fun, and I'm thinking this would be really cute to have on like a little baby quilt. And so that'll be fun. Okay. There. See, so then we're going to sew these units together. We're going to sew the little units here together that make this. There's like 4 pieces in those corner units. We're going to sew those all together. Then we'll sew the rows together, sew those rows together, and then we'll be set. Now we're going to want to get out our little glue stick, because this is where you're going to sew these together like that. So put a little dab of glue here and a little dab there on that corner, and a little dab of glue on each of those corners. Flip it over. Now you could use pins, or they're little, you could just fold them. But I like how the little bit of glue holds it in place so nicely that I'm totally sold on using the glue. And it dries clear, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh, yummy. So I hope you all had a great 4th of July. We didn't do much. Worked in the garden, which was fun. Okay, so now you're going to take these to the machine. Now I like to have the piece of fabric on top that is the solid square, not the half square triangle. I don't know why, I just do. And I don't have to worry about switching these around and having them end up in the wrong place, because I just sew from one dab of glue to the next. Okay, so then you guessed it, we're just going to press these open next, and you're going to want to press to the solid square. Press toward that one. Set your seam. Give it a little press. So if you put your put your square on the top, when you open them up, you don't have to adjust that. So what do you think of that way of doing half square triangles? It's pretty easy. So in the comments below, if you tell me what you think of doing this kind of half square triangles, if you've done them before, I would love to see what you think. I think it just kind of makes it a little, I think it makes it go faster because then there's not all the trimming down. You can see where it matters how these are laid out, because if I put this one here, my point is going in the wrong direction. And I don't want that. I want my little pink triangles here to be kissing in the middle. Just like that. And then that makes that little tulip shape. That's really cute, little tulip shape. I like tulips. Tulips are kind of my favorite flowers. What about you? Okay, so now, one more, get the glue out. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue here in the middle and on the corners and line those up, nesting those seams nicely. And then just put the corners together. And then sew those. Isn't this glue handy? Okay. Once those are sewn, yep, you're right. Gotta press them open. Set the seam and give them a press. Set the seam and press it flat. Alright, so now we're just gonna sew these rows together and then almost done. This is a really fast and easy one. Thank goodness I have my latte to keep me. Gotta stay hydrated, you know. Okay, so I'm just gonna take these to the machine and sew them. And oh, real quick, I want to make sure that you see when I sew this unit to the solid unit, here I have a point that I don't want to chop off. So just like we always say, make sure that you'll chop off the point if you go inside of the little X. You want to sew right through that X. And if you're going to miss it at all, sew it to the out, in the seam, not in the block. Does that make sense? I think I ask that every time. But line those up, make sure. Now, here's another thing. This is where I put the block on the bottom, the solid square on the bottom. That way I can watch for where that seam's at. Okay, so now because of the direction that I pressed this seam, I'm not seeing my little X here, but it's under there. Can you see that? It's under this seam. So you want to really be careful when you're sewing over there. You know right where that's at so that you're not sewing. You don't want to sew this side of it and lose that point. Now I'm going to press towards the purple here because it will help it lay flatter. Also again pressing toward the purple. And again, press to the purple. And you'll notice that doing it that way, I will have nested seams here in my corners. Now, already almost done. So we're just gonna take that to the machine. Well, what do you think? That's a pretty easy block, don't you think? I really like that new method of making square triangles. I really like it. It's fast and easy. So again, this is called Tulip Lady Fingers, and it's number 99 in our Quick and Easy Block Tool Book. And if you haven't picked up this Quick and Easy Quilt Block Builder book, this is where I get all of those ideas of how to do the different half square triangles and how to do all the different kinds of flying geese. I get all those helpful tips and tricks out of this book. This is a really handy book. I honestly think every quilter in the world should have this book. So I'm going to be ordering in more. So if you are wanting to order one, if you go to My Quilting Loft or come into the shop and I don't have one, you can send me an email and I will make sure to order one so that everybody has one, because you're going to really need one. They're just $9.95. Seriously, the best $9.95 you've ever spent. Even better than a couple lattes. Well, lattes are pretty dang good. But that'll be gone in an hour. You're going to want to make 4 of this block. Make the 9-inch size. Super important, make 4 9-inch size, and hopefully you have saved up enough fabric to make one more block after this one. So if you don't have enough, you're going to want to do what you can to gather up more, because we're almost done, and then it'll be time to put it all together and have our quilt. It's going to be so pretty. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see your quilt though, because I'm hoping that you will take a picture of it and post it on My Quilting Loft Facebook group. So if you haven't joined yet, be sure that you go onto my Facebook page, go to My Quilting Loft on Facebook, and click join the group. And then that's where you can share pictures of all of the blocks that you're making, share a picture of your quilt when it's done, share a picture of all the things that you're making, share a picture of, it has nothing to do with this quilt. Maybe you've made something different. We still love show and tell, don't we? Show and tell is our favorite. So anyways, thanks again. Now make sure that you are subscribing and hitting the like button and hitting the little bell so you'll be notified when our next tutorial is posted. So anyway, that's it. We will see you 10 o'clock on Saturdays for our Facebook Live sale. Now this summer hours are going to be a little bit wonky, so make sure, and when I send out a newsletter with our updated schedule, be sure don't delete it, open it up and read it, because there might be a little bit of changes to the Saturday Facebook Live sale for the summer, because this girl's going on vacation. So yeah, make sure and check your newsletter, make sure you're watching our Facebook group, because I also post a lot of information in there about any updates, changes to schedule, or anything like that. So be sure you're watching that. All right, that's it. Wow, thank you so much, and thanks for enjoying a little latte love. All right, have a good one. Thanks. Bye-bye now.